Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro and Tom Kokoza. I feel like it's been a while since we recorded. Do you feel like that, Jen?
Yeah, it has been a while.
Well, not really. We recorded 2 days ago.
Well, okay, Joe. It's been a while since we recorded the regular podcast.
Oh, the podcast proper, yeah.
About 2 weeks, yeah.
Well, it's been a long time since we did a live recording, I think. Right? That's what it is, I think, right? Because the last episode we recorded was the interviews, and we didn't do that live.
That's correct.
So,
right,
okay.
It's been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, wow, okay. That's what I was trying to figure out why it felt so long. And I couldn't.
I thought you were being facetious.
No, I wasn't. I was being serious. But that's because it was live recording, so there we go.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I just want to start by talking about the elephant in the room. We had some big news drop today. I thought we should discuss it. Shrek 5 will be coming out in December of 2026. Just announced today. What do you guys think about this? Shrek around Riyadh.
Shrek 5? They're up to 5?
Shrek
5.
Shrek.
Zendaya will be starring as Shrek's teenage daughter.
Shrek around Riyadh. I mean, it works.
Riyadh. Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
We're changing as of today. We have almost
podcast.
2 years to talk about Shrek.
Well, we can do a rewatch of the first 4 movies, I guess.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's do that.
Which one is Shrek 4?
I've never seen Shrek 4. Shrek 3 is the one with Justin Timberlake.
I didn't even know they went that far.
I didn't see that one. Yeah.
Shrek 1 and 2 are great movies. Shrek 3 I don't remember being good. Shrek 2 is a great movie. That has Puss in Boots, and
Shrek 2
Shrek turns into a human in that one.
That looks like Brendan, right?
Yeah. And then Shrek 3 I don't remember being good, and Shrek 4 I've never seen. So
Shrek 4 is Rumpelstiltskin, right?
Yes, maybe. That makes sense.
Let's play it. It's like listeners, I'm going to put a little warning up front and say you should play a drinking game when you're listening to this episode, and you have to take a shot anytime you hear somebody say Shrek.
Skip 15 minutes forward if you don't want to hear about Shrek anymore, because we're about to continue talking about it. What's your favorite Shrek moment?
My favorite Shrek moment is, do you know the Muffin Band? The Muffin Band?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's my favorite moment.
That is funny. That's a good one.
I like when they're doing the cops thing in Shrek 2, and they find the catnip on Puss in Boots, and he's like, that's not mine. Antonio Banderas. Oh, all right.
More Shrek? Should we keep going, or?
I don't know. The chat is middling on it.
Yeah, I think we should move on to.
Fine, the Wheel of Time, whatever.
Oh man,
I want to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Joe. I have to tell you, I'm still tired. It's been like a week.
Why are you tired, Tom? Have you not been sleeping well?
I haven't been sleeping well. There's been so much content. It's been keeping me up late at nights. Yeah, it's been.
I thought you were going to say you were still jet lagged.
I don't think I'm still jet lagged, but I do think that. I think just the vacation itself and like not vacation, but the travel itself has kind of got me out of whack this whole week.
I'll tell you what, I feel like I've been sleeping better since I came back.
No, it's not the case for me. I'm very, very tired, and then I wake up way too early. So that's been the whole week.
So much has been happening over the last couple of weeks, right? Like they've been dropping posters, and the interviews all dropped. And I mean, some people were parsing out their interviews, so there's still stuff coming out from the press junket. We got we didn't even talk about the 11-minute opening scene at all.
No.
I mean, we talked about it when we heard about it at CCXP, but like there's just so, and then there was a clip on like what is it, an Australian
Today show, and then they
and
there's the character recaps that they've been dropping.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my God, guys.
Some of the actors posted their posters with their theme songs, which I thought was awesome.
Oh, I didn't realize that was their themes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like, the Avienda theme, which I'm not 100% sure if I had heard. I definitely didn't recognize it. The Hunt Begins, which is like a good like evil-y theme. For the baddies poster. It was really very, very exciting. I was thinking about this earlier today, in fact, like even in the first season, which I think had a lot more general advertisement than the second season, like I felt like we were on top of everything, even though it was like our first time going through it. Like it would be a week, and even like as we were getting
I
close,
remember
like,
I remember season 2 when we were leading up to it. There was just, I think for both seasons, like when it got to about a month away, it was just like stuff. They were just constantly dropping stuff, and I remember it being.
what?
I remember it being also
maybe.
like a lot.
I think
feel like
this is the
more.
most.
Yes,
And we
I
also
agree.
missed a week last week.
You're right. This is definitely the most of it. Out of all
Right.
3 seasons, I agree. Definitely the most. I can't even remember season 1 now, though. I would feel like that there would have been a lot for that, but you're
Well,
right.
I think,
This one feels like the most for sure. They're just dropping posters every week now, and
every day.
yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Those
They
Multiple-
dropped like
multiple-
3 different sets of posters in like a couple of days.
Yeah. They did the like you said, the little character recaps. They started releasing
think
those
is-
over the last few days.
We're gonna get more of those as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in season 3. There's no hints about season 3. I mean, you could, I guess, go by like whatever they're recapping you about. That's got to be somewhat relevant to season 3 or what they're going to do in season 3. Yeah, it's a lot of information, and it's overwhelming.
In a good way.
But we're not going to be able to talk about all of it. So that's kind of, it's sad. That's what it is. It's sad because we don't have enough time to talk about all of it.
If we all just talk about different stuff at the same time over each other without like listening to each other, we can probably talk about all of it.
That might be a great audio
I don't know
experience
how
for our
good it would be.
listeners.
That's true. You know, we are generally, I think, 3 different levels of sound. So Joe can be you know, the alto to my tenor.
Sure.
Let's go for it.
So we got to select things to talk about, right? Well, we got to pick some stuff to talk about. We got to drill it down, focus. We got to get focused. Otherwise, we'll be all over the place. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those posters that they dropped. Not all of them, because that's a lot of posters. And then we're going to talk about some of the other interviews that we read and listened to over this past week. And we're not going to talk about the 11-minute opening shredding sequence because everybody's seen it multiple times, I'm sure.
I'm going to recap the shit out of that in 2 weeks. Don't worry.
Yes, we'll talk about it.
We're going to know
episode
every
1,
minute
yes.
that
Yes.
happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about it then. So see, there we go. We're trying to conserve time. We're trying to be efficient. Being efficient. And the character recaps, you all seen the second season. You know what goes on. And if you don't, go check out our recaps or our rewatches.
I will say this: Light Blinded Fool was saying in chat that it's unbelievable that we're not going to be talking about the first 11 minutes since we've spent almost every single episode in the last couple of years trying to shoehorn when the doorway was going to show up in the series, and we actually just know, and we're not going to talk about it.
Well, we
But
did talk
is
about the
that
door
it?
frame. We did talk about it. Didn't we talk about it already? Like, I feel like that came up in the conversation, or maybe we just talked about it with people like in person.
We talk. Yeah, I think that's it. We might have talked about it in our Patreon only episode that we recorded earlier this week.
It wasn't in the trailer, right? It
Oh,
wasn't-
okay. Yeah, and we talked about
No,
it.
it
It's in the
wasn't.
first 11 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe we'll be happy talking about that during our spoiler section of episode 1.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But we'll definitely be talking about it later. So there you go. We haven't totally missed it. All right. So we did want to talk about those posters that they released today. They were like the group posters where they had the characters kind of split up into different groups.
That was yesterday.
Was that
Yesterday,
yesterday?
man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow,
God damn it.
you guys are really tired.
Yeah. That's wild stuff. That was yesterday. All right.
That was yesterday.
Because it's interesting how they grouped everybody, right? And they did this really cool. It's really like almost like a panoramic. If you could put it
Yeah.
all together, and they kind of like the backgrounds are like their locales, right? So you see like
Right.
the Waste, you see Tanchico, you see the Two Rivers, and then you see like the ways, and I don't remember what, I think it's the ways, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool how they flow into each other, but they grouped everyone obviously specifically for a reason. They're probably going to be characters that are going to be together for a chunk of the season. So I thought it was interesting because some of these, well, there's one huge thing that I did want to talk about. Let's just talk about it first because it was probably the most surprising thing for me. So in the one with all like the adversaries, bad guys, whatever you want to call them, right? You have Lanfear at the forefront. You have Leandrin behind her, Moghedien, or Moghedien, as I feel like that's how I'm pretty sure Lanfear
I think she
pronounced
just
her
said
name.
it fast.
I don't know. I just rewatched it.
Moghedien. It was just like weird. I think it's Moghedien, but I think it was like a weird pronunciation on it.
Mm-hmm. There's Dain in the back.
Dain, what are you doing?
Dain Borhald, Shora, and
look
Elida.
Excited to be happy.
Elida's in this on the and then Padden Fane.
Yeah, looking sharp.
And I didn't even notice what he was wearing until somebody pointed it out.
What's he wearing?
White cloak armor.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That was literally what I wrote on Blue Sky when someone pointed it out.
I had no idea. Oh my god! See, it's like information overload. I don't have enough. I feel like I have to see everything, so I don't get enough time like spending with each thing.
That's why we have to talk about this here, so we could like peruse the entire poster.
I was just so excited that I saw Padden Fane that that was it. That's all. I was like, Padden Fane's here. I'm so excited.
He made the poster, I think, is big because there's a lot of people who I thought would make a poster that didn't.
Like who?
Not a lot, but a couple.
This poster?
Like Leane. No, any poster. Like maybe Leane or like there's no tower poster really.
Right.
No,
there's no like Aes Sedai poster.
They're all split up.
So,
these other posters.
There's no like Varen, Leane, or whoever else. So I'm just, he's gonna be like, these are like the main villains. Like this is awesome.
I mean, let's say antagonist here, and let's not throw the villain word.
I didn't put him on here. Okay,
my man Dain.
I think that this means that he is going to maybe be upset about what happened to his dad.
I would be upset too if some dude that I was only kind to murdered my only father,
and then being manipulated by this guy on the
right.
right.
Father, like he would potentially have multiple fathers. Is that?
Who don't know?
Give two dads. Come on, Joe.
Like that show.
Yeah, that's
My two dads, right?
Gossip Girl.
Yeah. Dain just looks like he walked in and was like, what where am I?
What am I doing here? How did I get here?
Yeah, well, he is probably going to be drinking a lot this season, so who knows?
Oh no, that's not the ways behind. Is that the way? That's not the ways. Is that?
It's the ways behind them.
I think it is. Yeah.
For a second, I thought it was that area in season 2 with like the Forsaken Temple area, whatever that they go to with Lan and Alana.
I don't know. I think it's supposed. I assumed it was
the ways. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is this Fane holding the dagger in his hand? I see him holding what looks like a dagger.
Hold on, let me make this bigger. Hold on.
I downloaded the picture, so.
Wait, he's holding something.
Yeah, in his right hand, he's holding something. It's like a knife or a dagger. It's hard to tell. I think because his hand's covering the.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't tell. It's possible, but that could also just be a sword.
I think he might be holding the dagger. So wow, we're getting Padden Fane as a White Cloak, which means he's going to the Two Rivers.
I think that we knew that Fane was going to be in this season.
Did we really though?
Yes, we did. I mean, whatever. Guy Roberts said.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
This would be this would be a season that would explain a lot of the things that have been unexplained about Padden Fane so far.
Yeah, so this will be interesting then to see this dynamic if it's gonna be like I feel like right. So you know how in the books Byer's kind of the one like egging Dain on. I think maybe they'll just do that. Like Fane will be the one doing it. He'll kind of be picking up that Byer role a bit.
Yeah, I mean Fane's very prominent in this book in the Two Rivers. He is, in the book, he tries unsuccessfully to corrupt Dain to just make him evil, and then just tries to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess runs.
There was mention. I can't remember who mentioned it, but somebody mentioned Dain being a drunk in the show.
Yeah.
I don't remember where it was from, but I remember seeing that. I don't remember if it was.
It was. I think it was in line with these posters.
Yeah,
it was dropped there. But yeah, it could have been an interview, perhaps, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Lanfear's
poor
doing
Dain.
like gang signs.
Yeah, I guess she's about
She's
to.
channeling, Joe. Come on.
She doesn't need to really move her hands much to channel.
Well, she's not just going to stand there.
She moves her hands sometimes. She moves her fingers sometimes.
Yeah.
Blow shit up.
And look at, Kate Fleetwood, that hair, she looks like she's letting the hair down for the entire season, except for the opening.
It's very like baby girl kind of hair.
Yeah.
Like
she's going to get all pouty, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she's got stuff to pout about. Yeah.
And then, Shora as Elida there.
Yeah, look at that cloak or whatever she's
like,
wearing.
I love how they're just like right away, they're like, she's going to be a bad guy on the show.
It's fine. Okay.
Again, I think
she's going to come out full force, like, Elida, I think, in the, like, when we first meet her, probably then. Like, it's going to be like, oh, we know she's bad.
Okay.
That's what I feel. That's what this says to me.
I feel like you really don't know Elida is bad until, I guess, maybe like this or book 3 or whatever. Like in the first time, she's just severe. Like when you first meet her.
I agree. That's what I say. I think in the show they're just going to go right to it.
Okay.
Like you're going to know this in the first time you meet her. That's my guess. That's what this poster tells me.
I kind of feel like Dain was put in afterwards.
Well, they're all put in afterwards. That's not
no, but I mean, every poster has 5 people on it in like the same general formation, except for this one that also has Dain like really randomly sticking in the back.
Maybe because he's not really bad. He doesn't belong there.
Right. He's edging in. His hand is on the Two Rivers Forest.
There's too many people on this poster, is what I'm saying. I think it's like designed with 5, and then they just were like, we got to put Jay Duffy on this poster. Just put him in there. Just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just the way I'm looking at them now, I'm like, because like even the 2 end ones are kind of like tilted in, so it's just for the shape of the whole poster.
Well, he's not in a V formation. He's like popping out of the V.
Yeah.
He's like standing on a rock behind them. So
right.
Yeah, who knows?
Look at Mogedion. She's got like ink, like black fingers, like half black fingers.
She had that in the trailer or whatever it was when she was touching Nynaeve's face.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Her fingers are black.
I do remember that now.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. So I'm telling you,
I'm gonna guess that that's true power usage.
I'm gonna say that she likes to stick her fingers in poop.
If I have to choose between those two, I'm gonna go with Tom.
Yeah, I think I'm winning that vote there, bud.
Sorry.
Also, if your poop is jet black, see a doctor.
There's blood in the stool. Should we move on to the next poster?
Sure, that's the last one, so we can go in reverse order if you want.
We're going whatever order they pop up on my screen.
Okay.
So we've got looks like the Tanchico crew. We've got Zoe front and center. We got this big Nynaeve season, I guess. Then we got Matt and Swan. Now I want to, I'll ask why is Swan here in Tanchico, and then
just
Min
a color match with the gold and greens.
Yeah, just her outfit just fit.
Yeah.
And we got Min and Elaine.
Yeah. I love Min's jacket.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those like reverse vests.
What?
It's like a reverse vest. It's the parts of the vest that they cut. Parts of the shirt that they cut off a vest. That's what that is.
How do they call it?
No, I don't know, but that's what it looks like. Or like a reverse tank. Or like a reverse tank top.
It has shoulders, though.
It's just the arms and the. Yeah, it's a reverse.
The neck. It's the neck, the shoulders, and the sleeves.
Is there a back to like a half a back to it?
I think it does. I think
there's a half back to it. In fact, I think there's a half back. We know this already, but I think it's an interesting choice that Elaine's lightened her hair in between seasons. She's much more the blonde Elaine from the books than the redheaded Elaine from season 2. But
Well, she's supposed to have reddish
Strawberry
gold.
reddish gold, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, why is Swan here? Is Swan going to Tenchiko?
That would,
Maybe
I'm going to say that's ridiculous. I'm going to say that's ridiculous, but
maybe that's
is
how
it ridiculous for the show?
Yeah, because she doesn't look like she's, spoiler alert, still there in this picture. But like, can you imagine that? Imagine that she, like, the coup goes down. Maybe they all leave around the time the coup goes down, and then Swan escapes with them.
To Tenchiko?
Yeah, to Tenchiko.
Oh my God. That would be crazy.
Yeah,
but it just might work.
Right. Now, people are saying in chat, like, what, happens in the books is likely what's going to happen in the series, which is that she is the impetus for the rest of these characters going to Tenchiko.
Yeah, she sends them to Tenchiko. Yeah.
Right. And that they want her to be on one of these posters. But I will remind everyone listening that in every season of this show, something that it is impossible to predict has happened. So yeah, why not? Maybe Joe, you're right. Maybe she escapes the coup and flees to Tenchiko with him.
In her in
the full regalia.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, these outfits could all be at different times. I would say Matt has far less chest revealed than I feel like he's actually going to have at any point in the season.
It's going to be a lot of Matt chest.
Well, it looks like he's wearing his medallion. Maybe they're trying to cover it up.
Oh, yeah. His little,
he also looks like he's wearing eyeliner a little bit or something. Something's different about his face.
Yeah, just you got to make them pop. You got to make the eyes pop.
Yeah, got to pop those eyes. But just also like the fact that Nynaeve's up front. Right? Does that mean it's going to be a big Nynaeve season, you think?
It could be. It could also be that she's, I think, third build on the show. But
she might be. Do you think she's going to break her block this season?
No. I think she's going to channel successfully this season, but I don't think she's going to break her block this season, no. That's Jen, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean... Yeah, it's kind of early for her to break her block, I would think. I don't know what she does after that.
Storyline. Let's get her channeling.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's a later on Mogedian attack, right? Yeah, I don't know. I could see them moving that up if they want to. Like, what's the big? Like, maybe her breaking her block is like the end of the season when she's fighting Mogedian. She finally breaks her block. I could see them doing something like that.
Yes.
Putting that in there. Who the hell knows? It's impossible.
They do.
They know. Oh, that's right. They do know. Should I move on to the next one?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we've got, let's go back to the two rivers here. We've got, of course, Perrin up front. Look, he's got an axe in one hand and a hammer in the other.
Yeah, he does.
I love that. This is my favorite part of the poster. So are we going to get an axe hammer scenario, like making the choice at some point in this? I mean, it doesn't make sense to do it this season just because of what's going to happen or what's happening. But what are your thoughts?
I don't know. It looks like he's going to be using both of them to crush Trolloc heads.
Yeah, I feel like we saw some of that in the trailer, right?
With that spike on the back of it.
Yeah.
The axe is very, very murdery. Yeah.
That's what he does best in the Two Rivers.
It's going to do some
kill
murder.
People with axes.
Murder in the Two Rivers. We got Loyal.
I feel like Loyal's got like a trim up.
Loyal looks like he wants to have Perrin's haircut. I'm just noticing them standing together here.
Yeah.
It's like he decided he liked it and he's trying to grow it out. Like
now, Loyal looks so small here. Obviously
he's further away.
Yeah, but he's not that much further away. I mean, look at him next to Alana. Alana's about the same distance behind Perrin as Loyal is, and he's barely taller than her.
Yeah, but why would you have like a giant guy? It would make the poster look weird.
That's exactly what I think, Chad.
Fail's actually 6'8".
Yes. We got Fail here, looking all Faile. This is the best shot we've gotten of her so far, right? Like in the actual show. So this is cool getting the first like real Fail.
I'm so excited. I should feel like she has the potential to be really cool on the show.
So there was,
I think so too.
In like one of the interviews, I might as well just tie it in because we're talking about it right now. I think it was the Dragon Mount interview. Marcus was talking about like Fail and Isabella, and he was saying like, you know, I think one of the question was about her being like a divisive character among the fandom, and he was like, he was aware of it, and I think so was she, because he kind of mentioned that she was like, you know, worried, you know, like if fans are going to like her or not. I guess because she knew the character was a bit divisive among the fandom. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Is that the same interview where he called her, or this might be a different one, where he called her a pocket rocket?
No,
which I guess just has a different meaning in England than it does in America.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Let's move on.
A pocket rocket.
And we've got Alana,
like a small person with a lot of energy. Is that like
that is what? Yes, he means.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's Alana and Maxim. I think it's pretty clear
Maxim.
that if you've watched the first 11 minutes, and you've seen the well, no, it's not in the first 11 minutes. It's in the what's it called?
It's after the
yeah.
But it's in the what's it called? The trailer. You see Maxim in the Two Rivers.
Yeah.
So
you see like the three of them on the street, and then there's a shot of Alana sobbing over somebody.
Yes.
And then Maxim's in the Two Rivers. So
yes.
it's not really
so it's
hard
like
to put these things together.
So I think I think the reason they did that, we never got that. We should have asked Rafe this, but we didn't. But I think the reason they did that was because, right, Emmanuel Amani didn't come back because he had like scheduling conflicts. So I think they just decided, okay, we'll just kill off that character. Since, you know, I know they brought a new actor on, but they just brought him on probably, I guess, to die, and then that was it.
So Taylor Napier was going through this whole thing with the assumption that he would be killed off, and then
I think
got
so.
In the 11th hour or whatever, he got saved.
I think so. I think that's what it is, and we'll have to ask Rafe if we get a chance to, because I'm curious about that. Something tells me though that it had to do with Emmanuel Amani leaving though. So
well, if that's the case, they could have just killed off Matt after the first season.
I think he's a little okay. Yeah, that's
that's
the same level, right? Perrin's got his golden eyes. Look, there's a spear behind him. I just noticed this now when I'm looking at it. Is that supposed to be like Bane and Shiad? Like, what is that?
Yeah, they're both in that picture.
Yeah, they could have like
put
Bane and Shiad in the back the way Jay.
Yeah, that's the only thing you see is one of their spears.
I don't see anything else, but okay.
They're Aiel, Joe.
Oh, okay, I get you. That's a good point, Tom. You should have saw two spears, one from each side of him. That would have been cool.
That's it.
Yeah, this is a cool one. I can't wait. I can't wait to this. Can't wait to episode 7. It's going to be awesome.
Don't wish away the whole season.
No, I just can't wait to see episode 7. I'm not wishing away the whole season. I'm just really looking forward to that episode.
I think like when you're really upset in the Wheel of Time, you wear like a strap going down the front of your body.
Is it really?
You'll see that in maybe the next poster we're gonna look at. That's like the depressed gothic clothes of the Wheel of Time.
Well, who are you talking about in this poster? Alana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
See the strap going down from her neck?
Yeah, the collar, right? People were talking about that. Yeah. It's just like her armor.
So then if we go to the next poster, are we done with this poster?
Yeah, what the next one is the waist.
Yeah.
gang.
You can see Egwene wearing a similar strap going down the front of her shirt.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She's in her gothic depressed phase.
I thought Egwene was a member of the X-Men in this photo.
She's a bit right. This is almost Age of Legends-y.
She's got an X on her belt. Like she's just dressed like a member of the X-Men.
Yeah. We should just ask Sharon about that.
They call her X-Wayne now.
Nice.
She's
X-Wayne. I like that.
Oh my gosh.
All right, that's a drop.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we got Rosamund Rand. Lan, and then Avienda in the back also. And it's what's the background? It's the rings Tirangriel that we
Rings.
see in the trailer.
Yes.
How is Moraine keeping that jewel on her head? Like a Sierra.
It's probably pinned into
magic?
her. No, it's like
Or
probably
the
Bobby
power?
pinned into her wig.
No. In the show, Joe. Not
This-
on
this
the
is-
costume.
How
Is
is
Bobby
Moraine-
pinned into her wig on the show?
Not
The
Rosamund.
character. You mean yeah? She
Yes,
puts pins in it. She
it's-
puts the pins in it to hold it up there.
I know. It's just like perfectly placed. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm sure.
It's not
I'm
really-
sure there are pins in actual. Like that's how it's there. It's like little bobby pins or something to hold it in place. Not just in the show, but in the world of the
Randland.
Wheel of Time.
Okay. They have bobby pins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this. Egwene's got an X-Men belt. Like, why would they have bobby pins?
Right. I mean, they probably don't call them bobby pins, but
They
yeah.
have,
trying to think
they
of
have
what they would call it.
barbers. I mean, they
True.
gotta have some bobby pins if they have barbers.
I was saying this. What popped to me most in this whole entire thing is a very selfish thing. Blue is my favorite color. Has been my favorite color my whole life. This is my favorite color. Blue, the blue of her dress, and I like this kind of like deep electric blue. Really stands out. I'm not sure what's going on with the like the mesh armor at the top.
Yeah, the gold.
You talked about that. Yeah, but
looks so
I'm very
brass
curious
or-
to find out this why. Yeah.
I think this is just part of the dress.
Her hair is a different color too.
It looks
It's
lighter. 'cause
lighter. It looks lighter. I think it's the
just
sun.
the sun. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to think like these aren't the real hair colors, like for Elaine and her. She
No, we
has
saw
black hair
Elaine
in the
in the-
first season. I don't know.
No, it's brown. It's not black. It's brown. I think this is just the sunlight, and they probably like all the
You
freaking
put-
touch up and Photoshop they did to these posters.
No, well I know that. She put sun in when she went to the IO waste. Just
What?
some lemon juice in her hair.
Yeah, yeah. It's the air of
Okay.
the waste. It lightens up the hair.
Sand.
Oh, it's sand. Yeah, it has sand in her hair.
Sand in her hair.
Just sand in her hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still do it.
Egwene's dressed like I imagine Min dresses in the books. Except her
Pantaloons.
pants are supposed to be a little tighter, right? But similar. It is a very interesting outfit. It does look like Age of Legends. So
Yeah, where would you buy that?
from a peddler that
Yeah,
they meet
man.
in the
Like,
waist, Jen.
Why?
His name
I
is
don't know.
Hadnan Kadir.
Oh.
Yeah,
Aw.
Adnan Kadir's Goth Glamour.
yeah, goth and glamour.
That's the name of his store, his wagon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything else on this one?
No.
All right. There's a lot of interviews to talk about, and we can't talk about all of them. So, I got a couple that I noted that had some interesting things in them that I figured we may want to talk about.
Sure.
I'll go into like because I don't know how many we'll get to. So I'll go into the ones I think that had the most interesting things.
sure.
So this is the Radio Times. And I think this came up, something like this came up in one of the other interviews, I forgot. But it's with Rosamund, and she says, quote, "We haven't neglected the Stone of Tyr. We just rearranged the order." And then later on, she mentions, "We are going into the waste first because he needs to discover who he is." And she's talking about Rand.
Mm.
So is this all? This is confirmation that they are going to go to Tyr at some point then, right?
Well, they are going to go to Tyr if the show is greenlit for a fourth season.
Yeah, so I found it. Okay, in the Nerdist article, Rafe says, we have a really clear plan for the Stone of Tyr. And it's something that if we're lucky enough to continue the show, you'll see how it plays out, but it's not been forgotten.
And I will say this in our 99.6% accurate pre-show episode breakdowns, right? This is what we predicted, that they're going to tease the Stone of Tyr, they're going to tease Kalendor in this season to set it up for latter seasons. I think we predicted that you may even see Kalendor in one of Rand's Rodian visions.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people talking about when they come back over the, from the waste, they go to Tyr instead of Kyrian.
Right.
So I mean, it's interesting that they're going to still put Tyr in. I figured at this point, it seems like a little late to go back to it, but I mean, they talked a little bit about why they did that. Like Rosamund said, it was more about like Rand's learning about who he is and where he's from. And it's like in the books, you kind of get that through like a lot of internal stuff, and it just makes more sense in a TV show to have that happen first, and then he can go to Tyr. So
I mean, if you were gonna choose and might not get to this, I would want to get to this season, this story,
so you think
Rodian, and all of this. No, honestly, like
Yeah.
what, like you got to do this. You got to do the wait. And I said this like I feel like when Matt blew the horn, it was like, okay, at least we got Matt blowing the horn. At least we got the heroes of the like every big moment like that. I'm like, okay, like we got to see that, and now we're gonna get to see Rodian. We're gonna get to see, the IL waste and all the IL culture. Like that's the interesting part. Going to the Stone of Tyr, and it's good, but this is better. And if you're rearranging it and you have a good story to tell, I'm sure it'll be good if we see it.
Yeah.
But if we had to choose here, I'd rather see this.
No, you're right. It's better. It's better TV. And you want, like you said, you want to get to it before they cancel you potentially.
Well,
right. I mean,
everyone's very down.
I'm not down. I'm just
down.
like, I'm happy for everything
Jen's
we
talking
get.
of strategy.
I understand, but I also think, and we talked about this as well, like in the books, it's kind of dumb that he just gets it and puts it back in the floor. He's like, I'll get it later. Like, it'd be really dumb if they do that on a television show. Just let him get it when he's going to use it, and then he has it for the rest of the series.
No, that makes sense.
You could also, like, the Stone of Tyr could be a base camp for him instead of Kyrian.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably going to be like a really cool set piece, so that it could just like set up there.
I like it.
Also in the Nerdist article, they had a lot of good stuff in there. Rafe meant people started flipping out on social media about this. Not flip and like got so excited. He mentioned something about a musical episode, and people were like, "Oh my god, a music!" And they snapped that little quote out, and literally the next part, like the next line or whatever it was, he goes, "Well, it's not a musical episode, really." And he says he says though we will see a large number of characters sing on screen in one episode this season.
Okay, I wouldn't want to see a musical.
We went from a musical episode all the way to some of the characters are going to sing in an episode.
If this was a show with 6 seasons, 22 episodes a season, great, do a musical episode. But like, I'd love to hear people sing. I don't mind that, but it's like, no, a musical episode.
I imagine Donald will sing, right? I mean, if
hope.
it's going to be in Tenchico, then he sings.
Yeah, Tenchico seems like the right, like they're gonna like all have to pretend to be Gleeman with Tom and get up.
Yeah, right. This is where we think. Right, this is where Tom's going to show up. So of course we'll get Alexander Viome singing. So I gotcha. Maybe they'll all be maybe we'll get like the drunken bar scene, and Elaine will try to. We'll sit on Tom's lap.
Maybe instead of that weird thing, she'll just get up and sing instead.
Yes, instead. She'll just sing. They also talked about the Age of Legends, too. Rafe said we spend a little more time in the Age of Legends. I think at the end of this season, meaning viewers, have a really clear idea of what the Age of Legends was like and what was lost.
Mirren.
I'm very excited for this. Like, this sounds like we're going to get more Age of Legends than we did in any of the other seasons.
Yeah,
and we're going to learn about the breaking, I think, or at least maybe the boar.
Yeah, I think you'll get a full a full Age of Legends brand flashback and like a end of Age of Legends, like beginning of the breaking flashback kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Rosamund said in our interview that this wouldn't be exactly the same as Rodian, but in essence it would capture. And what I want to see captured is Mirren.
Yeah, I mean,
got
we
a
think
fever.
that one shot, right, of Natasha O'Keefe in the white. We think
Yeah.
that could be Mirren,
She
a
must have-
Mirren shot.
Just taking her glasses off.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that extensively.
Yeah.
But she didn't have a pencil in her
She
bun.
took that out. She took that out. She was just writing something,
Yeah.
and then she turned around and like took her glasses off, so you couldn't see it.
They also said that Rafe also said this is a huge dreamwalking season for us, and that Egwene's story in season 3 is very much about the dream and what the world of dream means. So it sounds like this is probably Egwene's main thing that's going to be happening this season, which I mean is what's in the books, right? In that book is mainly her, training with the wise ones. So,
I like it.
Yeah, I like that. Exciting stuff.
Definitely.
Dragonmount had some interesting things too in their interview. So they also had released an interview they did at CCXP. There was an interview way back from there that they had been holding on to. I guess they weren't allowed to release it yet, but there was that, and that was an interesting one because they asked Rafe about Shadow Spawn. He said that Drakkar was scripted to be in both season 2 and season 3, and they cut it because of the cost. Like he said, the VFX people were like, it's a waste of time and money for like one scene.
The drag car, he said.
Yes, he said they were called
like a car full of drag queens.
Yes, the drag car. That joke that they had there. But he did say that we're going to see a new Shadow Spawn in season 3. What do you think it's going to be? Gray Man. I like Gray Man.
I would say Dark
Hounds.
Yeah, or Dark Hound.
I think we're going to get Dark Hounds.
What else is there?
The worm. There's going to be the
Jamara.
Jamara?
Jamara this season.
I can't wait.
No, it would be the Golem, Gray Man. He said no Drakkar, Dark Hounds, right? That's the last.
Yeah.
I would think this Dark Hounds are fairly prominent in this book. I mean, like the most they are, I think, out of any of the other books, right? Or unless.
Well, they're in book 3.
Book 3, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they're in
book
4 that much. They're in book 5.
No, they're in this. Oh, it's when they attack in the waste is in book 5, right?
That's book 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Red
yeah,
uses
I'm sorry.
Balefire.
Oh, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but they're in book 3.
Book 3 is when
they're
right.
Well, there's dogs chasing Rand. We don't know if those are Dark Hounds.
No, they say the Perrin and
yeah, and they're also in that
them.
part.
Yeah.
They see the footprints in the cement or whatever.
I could see them doing Dark Hounds as like, the foil to the wolves. The evil, which is, obviously what they are in the books. But you're all right. So people are saying Gray Men are would be cheapest. Yeah, I mean, because in the books, they're just people who
they're just guys.
They're just guys who look plain.
Right.
So I don't know.
They're what's his face? I'm blanking on the actor.
Jason Clarkson.
Jason Clark. They're just Jason Clark's in the show.
Jason Clark, yeah. That's what we always say. Poor Jason Clark, but
I slide right off him.
Nothing to see here. And then also on Dragonmount's interview, Rafe talked about combining or condensing Bear and Amis into one character.
What did he say about that?
So he said that they condensed Bear and Amis into one character.
Oh, okay.
No, he did. I don't have the quotes here for that. Like that's a quote from what he said, but just paraphrasing, he talked about how, they basically, they just wanted to condense the amount of characters. So they combined those two, and then they kept the channeling because of Amis. So and then they decided to change Mullane to not channel because he wanted to have someone who doesn't channel being a wise one as well. So
all right.
I don't know why he just didn't combine then like Bear and Mullane or something. I don't know. He didn't give any indication of why specifically those were the two he combined though. Like if there were 3 of them there, why was it those 2? Don't know. But that's confirmation.
Did he combine them, or did
he said condense? He used the word condense.
Change Amis's name to Bear.
He said he condensed Bear and Amis into one character.
Right. So Bear. It's Bear's name, and everything else is Amis.
Well, who knows? Maybe she won't be married to.
O'Rourke, yeah.
Maybe
That's
she'll be married to Rourke.
possible.
She married to.
It's. I'm feeling more and more that they're cutting out the the polygamy out of the show. So I don't know if the Aiel are going to be right. Like maybe that's what, like you said, maybe that he's not going to be married to Bear, and they're not going to put that in the show, like that the Aiel marry multiple people.
Well, I mean, are they going to put that in the show at all?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. So
I think it depends. That's I don't know. That's the thing that gives the prudish reader cover for being okay with Rand having a relationship with 3 people. Oh, it's everyone does it.
But
It's just his culture.
part of his culture.
I don't know if we need that now.
Because they didn't that wasn't in the press release, right? They released those actors and gave blurbs about them and never said that the 2 of them were married. Like that would be something you think they would have put in there. Right. So my guess is right, and we know that what's her face, right, had commented on Bjorn Landberg's post saying, being your work wife or whatever, and I think we know from Watt's series that Leon, right, Rourke's other wife, is going to be in the show and that they're going to be married.
You could be someone's work wife without being literally married on a television show.
That's also true.
That's true, but I think there was released somewhere that her character was going to be Leon.
All right, well.
I feel like it was like on her CD or
literally
something.
his work wife.
Yeah. So.
Okay, fine.
I wonder if they're going to cut that out. That'll be interesting to see. So.
Yeah, I feel like, well, this is getting a little off track, but I feel like we're in the trailer, we're still kind of focusing on Rand and Egwene, Rand and Lanfear, and not so much anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's
what we've seen so far in the trailer.
I mean, there's a scene with Rand and right there's that
Rand talking to Elaine.
Yeah, and they're kind of having like a somewhat semi-intimate conversation.
Yeah, it seems like she's But there's an interview that came out this week that kind of addresses the Rand Egwene, I guess where that relationship stands.
Oh, I didn't miss that season.
It was relatively quick, as all the interviews were. But how Rafe addresses it is like almost like an ex that you can't really break up with because you still have so much history, more than like necessarily an ongoing relationship. Like it's a relationship that won't work, isn't going to work, isn't meant to work, but you're still just kind of tied in due to history and familiarity. And like that's how he described like where they were at. Which makes me
Brendan's
feel
not going to be happy about this.
I think that makes more sense than 2 people just like agreeing that they don't like each other at the exact same time and just like shaking hands and moving on.
They do like Seinfeld and Janine Garofalo.
Yeah, right. It's like,
I feel like they were setting it up. I feel like so we're talking about the Eye of the World. I feel like Jordan was trying to set that up, but he just didn't do such a great job of setting it up. Like there's things in the book that happen that are kind of foreshadow that, right? Like she wants to go, like they even put it in the show, right? When she's thinking about becoming an Aes Sedai.
Right.
And Rand knowing he's when Rand figures out he's the Dragon Reborn, he's immediately like, I got to get away from everyone that I love.
Right.
So
yeah, the end of the first book is like, I'll always protect you. It's like, yeah, I'm going to peace out.
Yeah. I just think, Robert Jordan didn't set it up as well as he could have. But there are a couple of things in there that kind of hint to that. But yeah. I think they're just taking the whole, I have a really, really strange feeling now that they're just taking the whole Rand's whole love arcs and just really, really just changing it. I mean, they do like right in the first season, like Min makes reference, like a very like, just like, oh, I see you with 3 beautiful women, kind of almost like a joking line. So like when she's like reading his his aura
images or So I don't know. I feel like it's there, and
we got the "Who are you, Elaine?" moment.
Right. Season 2 ends with that connection.
Yeah. And then he's going to be spending a lot of time with Aviendha in the waste.
So I think it could still be there, but it looks like this like even though she breaks up with him in the first episode, there's still some things that need to get resolved.
Yeah, it seems like the land for
Tom.
Egwene tension. Still
She
there.
does.
There was another. There,
I lost you 6 months ago. Get the net.
Wait,
Sorry,
can I tell you guys that I literally never got what that joke meant until like 6 months ago.
I don't even know what joke. I've never heard that joke before. So
when he says "get the net," he means like a butterfly net.
who?
Wayne. It's from Wayne's World, right?
Yes, from Wayne's World.
He's saying, "I lost you 6 months ago. Get the net."
Yeah,
And
it's
he
not
means
get
like
the
somebody get the net and get this crazy person.
Yes, it's like she's a wackadoo. Get the net and bring it to
I
me. Yeah.
thought
You're talking about
Like,
Lara
it
Flynn.
wasn't like get the
Lara
internet.
I
Flynn
thought
Boyle?
they get the internet so you could read about the fact that even though it was like 1995, that when
It was 1991.
Okay, all right.
That movie came out. All right.
So I always thought it meant get the net, like get the
Yeah.
net, get on the internet so you could learn that we broke up or whatever.
Right.
But and literally 6 months ago, I was like, oh, he means get the net, like the butterfly net.
Why did I always feel like it had to do like with the net like they were using further to play hockey with?
Because we
No.
were children when that movie came
Yeah.
out, and we didn't get the
We didn't
references.
understand the jokes.
Yeah, I guess not.
But yeah.
Anyway, back to the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, okay. So just want to make sure everyone else got that joke. There too.
There was definitely one more interview, at least, that I did want to mention. So the character sheet on comicbook.com did a few interviews, and the one with Rosamund and Rafe was pretty interesting. I thought he asked some really good questions too. He asked about Maureen's family, how they explored that in season 2, and he asked if there were going to be more of that in season 3, and she said, "We don't go back there."
There you go.
She said she mentioned something about like moving forward like quickly or whatever. So I don't know. I felt like we thought that we were
I
going to
think we
get
had
on
heard-
there. Yeah,
I
right.
thought she was on this season.
Yeah, we had heard that Anvir is in this season.
But it doesn't sound like. I mean, according to Rosamund, we don't go back there. So
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we don't go back there physically. We don't go back there. Maybe she's in like one of the rings.
I was doing the exact same thing, Jen.
a future. It's one of her futures. It's
Or,
just there.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. That makes sense. All right, I'll allow it.
It's not. Is it all futures,
Yes.
or is it like? It is
Alternate. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
alternate realities. When
It's
she
al-
sees herself as
But
like,
It is alternate
the
realities.
Amerlin.
It's alternate realities.
Yeah,
in
it's
this
not
show.
her leaving this and then going to become the Amerlin.
It's what other worlds could have been.
Well, no, could
the
be.
series.
It's not could have been. It's could be because it's showing you the future. It's the
Yeah, but how
future
could
of.
she go be the? I don't know. I feel like some of the things that she sees are like.
They could all be in the future of other timelines.
Why can't she become
But
Amerlin?
they're not they're not alternate. It's not all. Like, I think what Jen's saying is it's not all. This is the pin and all the possible branches from this pin. It's here are a bunch of different worlds. This is the future of.
I don't think so. I think it's from where you are
Like
in your
once you
in the
walk
point
from the
of
ring.
time. These are all
Yeah,
possible
I-
things that could happen from now until.
That's what
whenever.
it is in the books. I want to be clear. That's what it is in the
Yeah.
books. 100%. It's all your possible futures.
Yeah.
But it looks like in this series, it's a bunch of different.
She mentioned a lot
Like-
of futures, though. She did say, like Rosamund said it in multiple
Well,
interviews.
she's gonna see what happens. She's gonna see how every world plays out.
Yeah.
But just the fact that she's like the Amerlin in one of them, or at least one, would make me think like, how would she? Like, she could, but I was thinking like, if she had become the Amerlin, like, how would that have played out?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is. I think if she becomes the Amerlin to try to, I guess, control the tower to be for Rand or whatever, like if that's a possibility, but Rand would die.
I don't know. Yeah, I think she's just. I thought it was just that she was everything that she saw where she lived. He died, so she just like putting together like, no matter what, if I live, he's gonna die. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess let's say we'll find out in a couple weeks. Well,
Yeah.
not like 3 weeks, right? Because that's episode 4.
Oh my God.
We'll have to wait for
Episode
that
4.
one after the first 3 come out. She also talked about the object, right? The sphere. She said it was like the last question, and she said, which is mysterious and exciting and problematic for her. And her and Yosha were giggling about it. Which this is the most I've heard about this sphere ever yet.
Yeah.
And this makes me really interested now because it's mysterious, exciting, and problematic for her. And they giggled about it. Like, what does this thing do?
I don't know. I haven't seen the show yet, Joe.
I'm asking you to speculate like we've been doing for the last 200
It was
plus episodes.
problematic for her.
I'm gonna say that.
And when they said that, that's when her and Yosha were like laughing.
I'm gonna say this is going to be like her utilization of the sphere is going to tie into her exiting the show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now we see the shot of Rand carrying her like in her same outfit. What's so funny, Jen?
Well, I think that scene is leaving Freudian.
Nothing. Just keep talking. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But is there something you'd like to share with the class?
The chat is cut off on a "So I married an expert."
Oh, there we go. Another.
It's another
Yeah,
Michael Myers. I'm
Myers.
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
it's a
I'm
great
sorry.
movie.
Something just hit me. I couldn't stop. What was the last thing you said? The sphere is gonna what?
Forget it, Jen. We're off the sphere.
No, you said something about the sphere.
No, we're done with that. We're done with that
No.
conversation.
We're talking about Vegas.
We're talking about same interview. Rafe said that season 3 is the closest adaptation of the book so far.
Woo!
Yeah.
So that's great. And then
Good.
he also said something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be a bit sad at. He said, Gaul, who we are not getting to meet yet, at least in the show, which I don't know what the fuck that means.
We met him in the book.
We
Met him in
him
the books.
in our hearts. Folded down into 2 other characters named Dain and Chiet.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's his quote.
Very good. I mean, I don't want to see Gaul now. It's like,
But why do you say
we'll be the
yet?
same person.
So it means he's going to appear.
Maybe.
He potentially could show up in the show. Like,
Yeah, but what his part to play is it will be the same person. So who cares?
yeah, I guess so.
At this point, like I don't know.
So no Gaul this season, at least.
It's fine. I'm over it.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I think I'm kind of past it now too. I mean, whatever.
It's too
I think
many
I'm gonna
characters.
feel the pain again when Tomatis isn't in the show.
Oh.
But, yeah.
No.
Yeah, look, I think that's probable, very probable.
It's probably.
It is probable. Anything, Jen? Were there anything in any interviews that you read that we didn't talk about? I got to throw one in. I don't know if you...
I'm trying to think.
Watt series, Rafe said you see the fight with Galad and Gowan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which we knew that there was going to be a version of that he had mentioned in the past, but
Alright.
Yeah, information.
he said it again that they're doing it. So
That's good.
it's good news.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch too much stuff, so
Donald said he speaks in the old
Read.
tongue and he can't control it in Backlot magazine.
interesting.
Oh, and here's something that I think people already know. Right? Remember the scene that we get in the teaser and the trailer of Rand in the mirrors and the multiple Rands. Right?
Yes.
Yosha said there's a moment when we have the mirror fight where I played with the idea of a possible mad Rand that tries to kill Egwene. So that's Egwene on the bed.
Oh, okay.
There
Well, that
you
makes
go.
sense.
But I think
guess.
I feel like I brought that up to somebody and they were like, "Oh no, we already figured that out." And I was like, "Okay." Last I heard, it was Kira.
All right, yeah. I mean, it makes sense with the way we've been seeing the trailers playing out, but
Yeah, with all the Egwene and Lanfear and Rand stuff. Any ones that you popped out to you, Tom, that we didn't talk about already?
No, most of the ones that popped out to me we talked about.
There's so many more too. I couldn't go through all of them. It was just there's so much content.
Yeah, I would say this. The interviews that I read basically fell into 3 buckets. Bucket 1 was general interviews with people who don't watch the show, right? And they're great because those are usually like, hey, you're on the Today Show, great. And then there's interviews in the second one, which like people who may have seen the show and like are asking questions that are insightful, and those are good. And then there's like, hey, people that I know are asking these people questions, and those are the ones I was most excited about. So you know, while I think for the purposes of like, if you're a fan of the show that wants to see more, like more people talk about it, whatever, like make sure that you watch or read an interview of somebody that you don't normally follow, and be excited about it and let them know like, hey, keep covering the show. But if you don't care about any of that stuff and it's not your responsibility to make the show popular, make sure you watch like, all of the fan creators interviews. It's really exciting to me, like when you see, whether it's John from What Up, or What Series The Dusty Wheel, or people that aren't Winter's Coming, right? Carly, right?
Carly,
yeah.
Decider and Collider and all of those, right? Nerdist. I mean, all of them.
Yeah, I think those are like drag him out, definitely. And I'm looking forward to like the Empire pick up too. And Helen's a fan of the shows as well. So like I'm like, that's the stuff that I really like to see people.
Did she say like she was doing something, writing something up, or?
I believe that she will be, not necessarily any kind of like, she got to do I think behind the scenes stuff for earlier seasons. I think this will just be more general reviews of the show.
Gotcha. So when we were in London, we a friend of the show, Helen O'Hara, was there at the screening as well, and we got to talk to her for a little while in person. Yeah. So
very nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's all I would say. Like as a general rule of thumb, explore
watch,
that stuff. I
share, like,
read.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. I feel that
read posts.
Yeah.
I think that the people on the show really enjoyed getting a variety of questions and not the same question slightly rephrased again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
So it was cool to kind of get, the more standard, I guess, questions like, hey, what's in store for your character this season? Yeah. Kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
And the more detailed kind of
like combining Amis and Bear.
right.
Like those types of questions. Yeah, those are great questions. It's good it's nice to have that mix though, to get, because you do want to get some of there was actually a funny thing at the end of the Dragon Mount one. Kathy Campbell was the one interviewing him, and she asked him, like, is there a question that you've been like waiting to someone to ask you all day that that you want to answer? And he said, he's like, I wish somebody would have asked me about which Forsaken are going to be in the show and when they're going to appear, but no one has. And then like they were out of time. So Kathy's like, oh no, we're out of time.
It's a good bit.
Yeah, I feel, it was almost like it was a planned bit, but I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure Rafe just also had a clock. It was like, oh,
yeah.
But
so, I thought that was funny.
That was funny. So I would say this, right? We've been talking about it, and earlier I called out my co-host for being really down in the dumps about it, but it is addressed in a number of interviews about like the possibility of a season 4. I think a few times they're asked directly, like, "Hey, is a season 4 coming? Where's it coming out?" And it hasn't been greenlit yet. We know that, but like there are, I think, some encouraging signs from these interviews about like whether it's like, "Hey, we have plans for season 4, and we know what we're gonna do." Wherever it is, or like, like I think, I think a lot of fans are like worried because we don't have it in hand yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think it's just like a normal thing that shows do, and like they seem to be a little bit more calm about it. That made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. I don't know if this means anything because I don't work on a television show, but like all the press that's coming out, all the posters, like obviously it's to make people watch the show and obviously that's going to be a factor in whether it gets greenlit. But I feel like if they had no intention of greenlighting it, maybe they wouldn't be going this hard.
Yes,
I don't know.
I agree with that 100%. I think that they like they position the show. If you look at the press releases, if you look at the things that Amazon says about it and everything else, they still position this show as like one of their flagpole fantasy shows, one of the flagpole shows on the network. They think it's very high. A lot of the media about it in general is like, this should be their number one fantasy show, and please treat it as such. So I think that they want it. They want to greenlight another season, but they want it to make sense for them to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading a few different articles from different publications about talking about fantasy shows that are out, and a lot of them were like the Wheel of Time is the best one out there right now. Like, it's better than Rings of Power. It's better than what's it called? House of the Dragon, the second season at least.
Yeah.
And I think I even saw somebody say something about The Witcher, or like,
yeah, which again is also kind of declined in that.
Yeah.
And this is only increased in quality every season. I think that's a big
yeah,
plus to it. And the other thing about it is, it's like, yeah, it's not a cheap show to make, but it's much cheaper than some of these other shows.
than Rings of Power.
Yeah, and I think here's like a thing that I think is in its favor. Like, I think Amazon would like for it to have more, more hours, more screen time, more views, whatever metrics it's going to have. But like, Amazon Prime Video has spent a ridiculous amount of money on a number of shows who like much more money, both in like production and in advertising, than it has on Wheel of Time, and the numbers are pretty much the same. And I feel like at a certain point, Prime Video's got to realize, like, hey, this is the cap. Like, if we're gonna have a big hit, this is what a big hit is on our network. And like, okay, if that's what I'm maxing out as.
I have to catch up on Reacher now. That's
right. They have The Boys. They have Reacher. They have hits. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But those are.
I think there's only one season of The Boys left anyway, though. I think they're only doing one more season.
And like, those hits are still not like they're.
I think they've been doing a good job this season with ramping up. I mean,
yes, I think
they did a really good job this season with all this lead up to it, with the teaser, the CCXP, the teaser, releasing the 11 minutes. Like, those 11 minutes are fucking wild. I mean, if you don't see that, like, I've seen tons of people post on social media, like, oh, my friend just saw the first 11 minutes of the Wheel of Time, and they're gonna watch the series.
Yeah,
like
it's fucking nuts. And
I wish, like, I'm worried that it's only in like our little bubble. Because I feel like sometimes I talk to people about it and they're just like, I never even heard of this.
No, yeah, there's still a lot of people. You're right. There are still a lot of people.
Extended out into like other.
But like,
I don't know.
It seems like a lot of people are getting other people to watch it. Like, it's not like you're right. It's not like somebody saw a billboard or a commercial and is like, oh, that looks cool. It's more like their friend or family member told them, like, hey, check out the first 11 minutes of this next season, and they see it and they're like, this is awesome. I want to go watch that show now.
Yeah.
So that's
like most of the people I tell about our podcast, I'm like, oh, it's a TV show. It's on Prime Video, and it's based on a book. Like, they don't. It's not like I say The Wheel of Time, and they're like, oh yeah. Like, if I said Rings of Power, if I said House of the Dragon, I feel like more people.
No, you're right. I agree. I feel like less than
like,
half of the people. Yeah. I feel like around half of the people I've talked to.
I think that if you went around to just random people that you didn't know knew fantasy and asked them if there was a Lord of the Rings television show, they wouldn't know.
You don't think so?
Like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that like people like the last couple of Lord of the Rings movies weren't hits. Like,
they were terrible.
There's not.
I don't know.
No, they weren't good.
The
but
Hobbit movies.
Yeah, but like,
I guess at least people have heard of Lord of the Rings.
Yes, people have heard of the Lord of the Rings.
I think people know.
If I said we were doing a
podcast
about Lord of the Rings TV show, there's some recognition there.
I think people would.
But if I say Wheel of Time, they don't know.
I'm not saying they're watching it, but I'm telling you, people know about the show that exists. I will say that. I'm sure people know about it. More people than know about the Wheel of Time show.
Yeah, yes. No, I agree. I'm just saying it's not. I don't think any show on Prime Video has like wide cultural knowledge or no. I'm not any show. I think that goes the same for any streaming service. Like, for all the hits that Apple TV has, how many people know what Severance is really? Like, people are watching Young Sheldon on television. Like, that's a hit.
Well, I'm not talking about like
Middle
America. I'm talking about like people I speak to, my friends, my people I work with, my family. They would probably have heard of Severance before they heard of The Wheel of Time. But none of my family. My brother watched it because we do this, and I think maybe my uncle heard of it, and he's like a fantasy guy. But nobody else. Every time I see them, I'm like, oh, like what is it again? Nobody watched.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Jen.
Yeah,
I feel like less people that have talked about to this like know what I'm talking, like have heard of it. Less than half.
Yeah. But I also one, if people start telling me the shows that they watch, I don't know them either. So I understand that. And two, like again, like if you're watching any show on a streaming service, like you're getting the people who sign up for that service to watch it. Like that's it. Like, it's just not like nothing has like even the 10 years ago, whatever it was, that Game of Thrones became a huge hit. Like it was going up against whatever was on Showtime. Like that's what it was going up against.
Yeah, but I think lots of people would get a subscription to HBO for it and then cancel it after the show was over and do that. So like,
that's what they want us to do with Prime. But the problem is that Prime isn't
just
primarily for a TV. It's a shipping system. It's ridiculous to think that. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying this because that's what they want us to do. But like, that's something I use every day when I order from Prime.
Yeah, so if they didn't show one video,
my Prime subscription, I'm not gonna do that. It's not like telling me to cancel like Hulu or something. This is like it's a whole other entity besides the streaming service, which a lot of people don't even know about.
Yeah, if they took away the streaming service, you wouldn't cancel your Prime membership. Like it doesn't matter.
And a lot of I don't know. I know obviously I know about Prime Video now, but say like I don't know. 6 years. When did it start like really picking up? You'd be like, oh, you can watch movies on here. Look at this.
Yeah.
Like it was just like an extra to your shipping fees or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Sorry for that rant.
Maybe maybe one day they'll splinter them off and have separate subscriptions.
I wish it would be about
that would be terrible.
Watching the show because I could do that. I could watch the shit out of it.
I think that, and I've heard this. I know that Taylor Napier's gone on social media, especially like a couple of months ago. It was like, hey, this is what you should do because that was one of the numbers that they used to count that. But that's not the only metric. And
I don't think Amazon counts number of subscriptions at all because of exactly what Jen said. People aren't signing up for Prime for the streaming service.
Well, I would say the reason that people get in, like tech companies get into streaming services is to get you to use their technology. So like the idea was I think originally like, hey, we'll put out something that will get people who like this thing to sign up to Prime that might not be on Prime. But I don't think that's the case necessarily anymore. One, because just like all the shit that we said about. And two, because they have commercials on them now, because they're trying to get money from minutes. And like, if you got enough minutes, I think it's going to count. So I think minutes watched and minutes dropped, like episodes dropped, like, hey, if you've got whatever, just for a round number, you've got 10 million minutes watched in episode 1, but only, 5 million on episode 8. Like that's not so you're not keeping an audience.
Like Lord of the Rings, this first season of Lord of the Rings, right? There was a ton of drop off on that show.
I didn't even watch season 2 of Lord of the Rings.
Season 2 was much better than season 1.
But even within season 1, it was just
so do you think they would rather you get? Obviously, they want you to pay for the no ads because it's more money for them. But do they get more money from that or from the people who are paying?
I don't think it matters to them. I think it's the same. It's probably almost the same. They probably worked it out, so it's like the same. But who knows? They might make more money from the ads.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't think it really matters to them. Financially, I think it's probably going to even. I would assume they had set it up so it kind of balances out.
Nothing matters to them financially. They can take a loss in this entire network and still make a profit overall as an organization. But the there was an article, we talked about this on the show months and months ago. There's an article saying that that's what they were doing. They were just taking a loss on Prime Video and it didn't matter. But like now they're trying to say like, can this be profitable?
Well, I think a lot of streaming services were doing that. They were, remember, like there was the let's just put out content, even if it's not good. Right. It was like volume game. And then they realized that they were losing money doing that. So we've seen kind of a shift where they're trying to make more quality stuff and not as much volume. So, I mean, that's good. It's good for us, for the viewers and the consumers, because you'd rather see good stuff than a lot of crappy stuff. But what were we talking about? Jesus.
I don't know. Sorry.
We went off track on this one.
I think
season
one
4.
of us went off on a rant, and then we all ranted off.
No, you started this. You were talking about how you thought we were downers, or Jen was being a downer about season 4.
I was talking about the interviews where I said in the interviews there is a lot more hope. It's not at this like kind of a thing. And then yes, I think someone was triggered by that. But
I think it was Jen.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna blame all of you. I'm gonna blame all of you.
It was me.
I don't remember. Okay.
We can talk about Shrek again if you want.
Yeah, let's get back to Shrek.
Okay.
I'm pass on that.
Any thoughts? What do you think we're gonna get next week? We've only got 2 weeks till the show comes out, so
I think we're gonna keep getting these little videos too. So like, it seems like in the morning we're getting like reasons to rewatch, and in the afternoon we're getting a character
recaps.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the reasons to rewatch, which are also awesome videos. Yeah. Right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about
the
those
mothers
too.
and the
mothers, the costumes.
The costumes, man.
That was
I forgot
the
what the
recent
second one was.
Like I said, there's just so much content they're putting out right now. They're just flooding, the media, which is what you want to do.
What
to
you
get it trending.
Do, right?
Share it,
sharing,
repost it,
reposting, liking, make sure
comments,
you're using your
all the rest of that
hashtag,
stuff.
make sure you're using those hashtags to get it trending. So
yeah.
2 more weeks. So depending on, do we usually bring Brendan back the week before?
Yeah, we brought him on to like talk about stuff, talk about the trailer, what he thinks about the show, what he's thinking about before. So I think we should do that. And people have been asking for him to come on for like months, and we haven't brought him on yet.
Don't worry, people, you'll get him. You'll get Brendan.
He's like, I'm ready.
So let's bring him on next week.
Let's bring him on next
week. We could talk about the 11 minutes with Brendan.
The teaser or the 11 minutes or whatever, the trailer, you know what I'm saying? Like, get his thoughts and what he's thinking or what he's looking for season 3. And then, the week after we'll be doing episodes on the episodes.
Instead of 7 minutes in heaven, it's 11 minutes with Brendan.
That is, no, thank you. I don't know. Now I don't want him to come on.
I'll pass.
Right. What you call it? For those of you listening, if you haven't done so already, I would recommend signing up for the March 8th live fan event thing that they're doing. Right.
It's the global fan event. They're going to be premiering
the global fan event. So
it's global
it's not live,
fan event.
It's global. Yeah.
Not live.
It's live.
It's live, pal. No, I don't think it is live. I think it's.
No, it's not live.
Right,
yes.
Yeah, it's not live.
It's going to be the episode, which is obviously not live. They're not reenacting the episode live. Episode 1, and then
Guy Roberts is putting it on improv.
Yeah,
playing all the parts.
Him and Jessica, and Taylor maybe throw him in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we think that they're going to probably show the Q&A that Matt Hatch did for
in
the
London, or at least
series.
some version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there may be other stuff too, because there is implied that there might be other stuff there. But like I would say we're very certain, not 100% certain, but pretty darn certain that episode 1 is what that thing is. And so like
no, I think they said it. I think they
after that's on, like, well, yeah, but we're doing things anyway. Like you should expect, if you haven't signed up for that you should not be on the internet, because everyone's going to talk about episode 1 in full.
Yeah, that's funny. I actually think I have company coming over that day. I mean, I saw it already, but it'd be nice to, watch it.
Watch it with them.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what time is it again? It's in the early afternoon?
1 p.m. or
I don't
3
remember.
p.m.?
Yeah, I might be able
I think it's 3 p.m.
We'll see what
Thing
happens.
off the top of my head. Anyone in chat knows.
I will say this one thing about the first episode that so we just released a Patreon episode about our trip to London. So if you're a patron and get the monthly bonus content, go check it out. If not, become a patron and get access to it. And you can hear all about Tom and I's trip to London. I will say one thing about the first episode of season 3. I think it's much better than the first episode of season 2. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Strong.
What about the first episode of season 1?
I can't compare the two because it's the first episode of season 1. So
It's the first episode of the show. Yeah, so it's 1 p.m. Eastern. And if you don't live in the Eastern time zone, then you can figure out what that is for you. That's when the live fan event is on the 8th.
yes, 10 a.m. Pacific. Was at 6 p.m. UTC or Greenwich Mean Time.
Tom didn't want you to do that.
I'm doing
everybody
it.
to do
I'm
their
doing
own
it.
Everyone that you do, you're going to leave somebody else out who's pissed that you didn't say them.
I'm not going to say go through every time
Mountain.
zone.
That's
What's
why. So
mountain time?
why pick 3? Why pick 3?
Well,
Why
I picked
we
the
did
other.
one?
So we have both coasts of the America, right? That's what people usually say. They'll usually give you East Coast, West
What about
Coast.
what about our friends in Hawaii, Joe?
And I said, UTC. That's like Greenwich Mean Time is the standard time, right? The world time.
Standard time.
What does that mean, the world time?
Like that would be like the time that if they were talking about like world events that were going to happen, they would usually give you like Greenwich Mean Time would be the time they was just. UTC
If you're going to
now
say
they call
like.
it.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about like, hey, the people, the countries of the world, the United Nations made a declaration of war against whatever, and you would say it happened at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Or UTC now, I think is what they use.
Yeah.
What part of the world is that?
That's
England.
through Greenwich, England. Yeah,
That's
it's the
not
zero.
fair.
It's the zero. Well, they had most of the world at one time, and they got to make the rules. The sun never set on the British Empire until it did.
I'm going to wrap this up because we've gone way off track here. I think I feel like we.
Okay, I did want to plug one more thing.
Oh, I know go ahead, go for it. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't normally go to our website, which is fine, you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube, that's okay. But on our website, there is a blog where we occasionally post things. We have a guest blogger just posted an article. Pavara, you see her on Blue Sky at pavarat.bsky.social.
Master of the old tongue, Pavara.
Yes. She literally is like fluent in it. Pavara wrote a really cool blog about the Hall of the Tower in the show and how it's changed from season 1 to season 3 and what that could mean. I highly recommend you checking that out. Going to our website, you can look at her blog right there. And let her know. Reach out to her on Blue Sky if you are on Blue Sky, and you can let her know how great that blog entry is.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Go for it.
I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, but I'm excited about it. I started and I was like, I gotta leave myself time.
I was telling Tom how
I need to pay attention.
I was telling Tom how it was so weird because I was watching the first 11 minutes, right? I was looking at the hall and like wondering if this had the same seating arrangements as they did in the first season. I was thinking about that and I was like, maybe I have to go back to episode, 5 or 6 to see how the arrangement was. And then Pavar wrote this whole blog and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Just get out of my head, Pavara. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We have a bunch of the press junket interviews and videos all posted. We have a thread going in our Discord. So, and I think somebody had also created a playlist on YouTube, which there's a link to on our Discord as well. So come over there and check all them out. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so be sure to go to our YouTube page to like and subscribe. Go check out those interviews if you haven't seen them yet, the ones that we did. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Final words, Jen and Tom.
Joe, please link to the Shrek 5 announcement in the show notes. Yes.
No.
It's been asked for in the chat. Do it.
No. You can put it in Discord.
Quick Gene Hackman's probably one of the top 10 film actors of all time.
Yeah.
He passed away at the age of I think like
90 something, 3 or something.
90, but yeah. In what looks like a really tragic accident of him and his wife passed away and their pet. There might have been like Gessling or something in the home. Obviously, he lived a very long and fruitful life, but I just wanted to give a shout out, as we normally do when great actors die.
And I think the day before that,
Michelle
Trachtenberg, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, died. She was only 39 years old.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to end the podcast.
Well, that's it. Sorry, guys.
I told you to end. We should have ended on Shrek.
Should have ended on Shrek.
Take it back to Shrek.
Go watch the Dusty Wheels interviews. Matt cut so much out of them, I'm not even sure what's going on in them. There apparently were a lot of spoilers in his interviews, but go check those out as well. And go check out all the ones, What Series article, What Up, all of the Dragon Mounts. Go check them all out. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Go ahead, Tom. What do you want to say?
Okay, and then get ready for Shrek 5.
You have a long time to get ready.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and you'll hear us next time.